Isabelle, shower, morning. The scent of lilies and dust motes hung heavy in the air, a familiar comfort. I am Isabelle Mourning, though most call me shower, a macabre jest referencing the final ablutions. For 20 years, I've kept time with the dead in this quiet corner of Port of Spain. Not in the keeping of hours, mind you, but in the meticulous preparation of those who've ceased to count them. Each face, each story etched into the stillness, they are my clocks. Today, though, the stillness feels different. A disquiet, like the ticking of a clock about to break. Old man Hemlock, the watchmaker, is gone. And with him, a part of this island's soul. A messenger arrived this morning, a boy barely old enough to shave, clutching a tarnished silver locket. Hemlock had left everything, his tools, his workshop, his unfinished masterpiece, to me. Me, the woman who prepares bodies and not builds intricate mechanisms. It's absurd, a cruel joke even. He knew my fascination with time, with the way it marks and unmakes us. But a watchmaker. I've never held a balance wheel, never understood the dance of gears. Yet, the locket, it felt warm, urging me forward. A summons, not a bequest. I walked to Hemlock's shop, a tiny, cluttered space overflowing with springs and cogs. The air thrummed with the ghost of his industry. I will attempt this, I decided. Not to become a watchmaker, but to understand. To honor his memory, and perhaps, to decipher the meaning behind this strange inheritance. I will dismantle his unfinished clock, piece by piece, and learn its secrets. It's a foolish endeavor, I know. But something compels me, a feeling that this clock is more than just a machine. The weeks blurred into a haze of gears and springs. I found an unlikely ally in Elias, a young apprentice who Hemlock had dismissed for his restless hands. He saw my struggle, my clumsy attempts at precision. He taught me the language of the clock, the escapement, the mainspring, the balance wheel. But even with his guidance, the clock remained stubbornly silent. Old man Hemlock was renowned for building timepieces that seemed to capture a soul, to hold within them the memory of their owner. I am beginning to suspect his final clock wasn't meant to measure time, but to stop it. I discovered a hidden compartment within the clock's base, containing a series of strange symbols etched onto a metal plate. Elias recognized them, ancient Carib markings, said to ward off spirits. But these weren't protective symbols, they were binding ones. Hemlock hadn't been building a clock, he'd been constructing a cage. A cage for something ancient. And the moment I touched the plate, the chilling wind swept through the workshop, and I saw a fleeting shadow in the corner of my eye. The stillness I'd always cherished was gone, replaced by a palpable dread. Driven by desperation, I attempted to activate the clock, hoping to understand its purpose. I followed Hemlock's meticulous notes, winding the mainspring, setting the hands. But instead of ticking, the clock shuddered violently, and the symbols on the metal plate began to glow with an eerie light. A wave of energy erupted from the clock, throwing me against the wall. The workshop was plunged into darkness, and when I regained my senses, Elias was gone. Vanished without a trace. My failure had a terrible price. I must undo what I've done. The clock, it's not meant to be completed. Hemlock built it to contain something, and my clumsy attempts to understand it have released something. I remembered a story Hemlock used to tell, a local legend about a spirit trapped beneath the island, a creature of shadow and regret. I searched Hemlock's journals, finding a single, cryptic entry, the key lies in the final hour. The clock's hands are frozen at 11 o'clock. There is 1 hour left. Armed with Hemlock's tools and a growing sense of dread, I dismantled the clock once more, focusing on the final hour mechanism. The symbols on the metal plate pulsed with energy, and the workshop grew colder with each passing moment. I discovered a hidden spring, intricately carved with the image of a coiled serpent. As I touched it, the serpent seemed to writhe, and a shadowy figure coalesced before me, a being of pure darkness, irradiating an ancient sorrow. It was the spirit Hemlock had contained, and it was furious. It lunged towards me, its touch promising oblivion. I struck it with Hemlock's heaviest hammer, a desperate act of defiance. The spirit shrieked and dissipated into shadow, drawn back into the clock's mechanism. The workshop fell silent once more, but the stillness was different now, heavier, more profound. The clock stood frozen at 11 o'clock, its purpose fulfilled. I will leave it that way, a monument to Hemlock's sacrifice and a warning to those who seek to tamper with forces beyond their understanding. I returned to my work, preparing the departed for their final rest. The scent of lilies and dust moths hung heavy in the air, a familiar comfort. Time, I realized, is not something to be measured or controlled, but something to be honored in its passing.